Emily Leiker, welcome to the Sport Profile.
Hey, Dylan. Thanks for having me.
I am super excited for this. We were just talking about how it's almost going to be your 1-year anniversary at the Star Tribune. And, I'm curious, how have you reflected on your first year?
Yeah. I think tomorrow, November 18th, will be 1 year from my official first day at the Strib, and then a couple days later in the week will have been my first
Is that what they
day.
call it, the Strib?
Yeah, we call it the Strib. Us
That's
at
so
the Strib
fun.
call
I
it.
love that.
Yeah, it's a little in the know, but that's how we commonly refer to it. But yeah, 1 year at the Strib on the 18th, and then I think my first day out actually doing Viking stuff was probably the 22nd. I think it was the Thursday of that week. So yeah, all in this next upcoming week here is my 1 year anniversary
That's
of
so cool.
everything. And yeah, I mean, it's been great. Covering the NFL has been a dream for a long time. And so just to have a year of that under my belt, I've gone through all of the big events, and I honestly felt like I did a lot more of the big tentpole events, the combine, and then covering the draft and stuff before I'd even done a full season because of when I
Right.
got here last year. So that definitely made for an interesting experience, but it's definitely, I would say, lived up in terms of the intrigue and just some of the differences against college football. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, that's interesting. What was it like coming in a year ago being, what we just have, week 10?
hmm Yeah,
Well,
the week
so
11. Yeah.
week 11. So you started week 11 of last year, or roughly. What is that like? I mean, season's, halfway done. We're post trade deadline. The Vikings are also a big beat. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, it helped that the Vikings were winning at that point last year. That
that
is not
too,
quite
you
the
have some
case
good
at the current
momentum.
moment. Yeah, they were playing well. Sam Darnold was playing well for them. Everything was
Mm-hmm.
going well. So it was a lot easier to have my colleagues go around the locker room and introduce me to people because everyone was in high spirits and they're like, "Oh yeah, great, someone else to talk to."
Yeah.
So that made it a little easier. I mean, there was certainly just the having to learn a fresh roster of faces that I really hadn't been that familiar with.
Sure.
I'd done some acquainting myself with the team as I was interviewing, and then once I knew that I had gotten the job and I had a couple weeks in transition, but it's not like I grew up watching the Vikings. I hadn't ever lived in this part of the country where I would
Right.
have been watching them a ton. Wasn't watching the NFC North growing up or anything like that, though the Vikings did play the Seahawks a lot and I'm from Seattle. So
Yeah.
I have seen some of those games, but it was a lot of, I think, just last season, just laying the groundwork for relationships and stuff so that when this full season did arrive, I at least had some of the guys that had been there last year that I was able to build into some stuff with, and was able to come into this season having that already there and being able to go up to them pretty quickly and keep building on that.
Oh, that makes sense. So people have gotten to know you and your work for a year, but what would you say is your elevator pitch to people who don't know you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think probably it has to do with relatability and making
Hmm.
these people that you watch on your TV that can feel so distant from you. I think football players, especially compared to other sports too, they're wearing helmets. You don't see them as guys a lot. You see them pretty much only as football players. And so I think that creates even more disconnect than we just have in general with athletes we're watching, or
I agree
just
with that.
celebrities and all of those things. And so trying to make these guys feel relatable, or at least have relatable moments, and bringing the audience into knowing them more as people, because I think that's really the side of sports journalism that I enjoy most, is the storytelling about these people and these moments, good or bad, obviously,
Sure.
and less about maybe the numbers and oh, who's leading the wide receiver room and in receptions and stuff. Obviously that's important and I pay attention to that because that's my job, but the times I think I find the most joy in the job is when I'm getting to dig in a little deeper with a player, when I'm getting to bring an untold story to an audience that may make a reader go, hey, I didn't know that about that guy. That makes me look at him differently. That makes me feel this way about him. Maybe going to become a fan of him, whatever it may be.
No, that makes sense. So, for your story personally, how many people do you think know that you were a statistician for your brother's football team growing up?
Oh my God, you did research. That's
I
crazy.
did.
I
I
don't know. I mean,
did.
I think if you, I mean, anyone
How
who's
old were you
hired me
there?
knows because it's been on in cover letters and like scholarship
All right, so maybe
applications
some
and
HR
stuff.
people know.
Yeah, some HR people, some sports editors. If you're a member of Awesome or APSC, you probably know because it's been in stuff for that. I think all my friends know at this point. It's definitely not something that I would think like any current reader of my work knows. Like I don't know that anyone's listening that listens to like Access Vikings weekly would know that I did that way back in the day. But yes, that was my very initial foray into that, and I feel like my dad sent me one of the little he made me, like, these sheets, and
Really?
yeah, and I if you had told me that you were gonna ask, I might have found it, but, I'll send you a picture if I
Oh my
find it
God,
in storage,
please.
but yeah, had these little sheets with, like, the boxes, and often they were not big enough for all the stats that I was taking, but would write down and, like, at the end of the season would have, like, a whole binder of them somewhere, probably still living on the internet because nothing ever gets deleted. I was blogging about it as
Yeah.
well, so, like,
Wow.
I
How
I
old were
don't even know
you?
the name of that website anymore, so I don't think you would actually be able to find it, but in theory, it is probably still out there.
How old were you when you were doing that?
I was, I think around 11 or 12, probably 12 to 13 when I started that, so my brother would have been 9 or 10,
Okay.
yeah, because that's really around the age like, I grew up in an NFL household, so, like,
Yeah.
we would watch football on Sundays, but that was the age when I think really started to get invested in it and when like my dad especially started noticing my investment in it and how interested I was and kind of started having the conversations with me of hey, well, when we see Aaron Andrews on the Fox broadcast or whatever broadcast, like that is someone you can be. Like we can
Yeah.
get you into things that would set you up for that. And that was his way of partially helping with that is I would be out there at practices, I would be out there at games with a little clipboard and writing all the stats and stuff and then
Hey,
blogging about them after.
somebody got to cover Pee Wee football.
Right, and we had the bet I would interview those little 10-year-olds. I didn't interview them when they were that young. I think the interviews probably started when my brother was and his teammates were probably closer to the age that I had started taking stats and could actually
Yeah.
give them answers,
What's the
but
age
by the
difference between you two?
we're 3 years apart, so,
Okay.
yeah, so and he was probably 12, and I had just started high school and wasn't really doing it at my high school yet. I was
Right.
still doing it just for his team and for fun, like, that's probably, like, once he kinda hit middle school was when I think I started trying to be like, "Hey, well, can I get a post-game interview with this 12-year-old quarterback?"
I read that your high school also didn't have a school paper, which, kind of, I mean, I relate to that too. Mine did, but they only published like 4 issues like a year. Whatever I wrote about was like not even important when it came out, just because of how far in advance
Yeah,
it was. But, I also did that, like the high school sports blog type of thing.
mhm.
I mean, I'm also part of like the injured athlete to journalist pipeline, strong group.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. I played soccer, but I was never taking it anywhere seriously, so
right. I hope you didn't get injured.
no, no,
No?
no injure for me.
Okay, good. I blew out my ankles
Oh,
in
that
track and
sucks.
cross country. Yeah, tendonitis isn't fun. Um but I also, so you did something I also did. And
Okay.
I'm just, this is an assumption here. I'm assuming you were wearing a media pass in that picture I saw of you and your brother.
I think so, yeah, or at least it was either don't think it was a media pass, but it would've been like a sideline pass of some sort,
You made
yes.
it for yourself.
No, I don't think I did.
Oh,
I'm
somebody
pretty
gave it
sure
to
the
you.
league yeah, I'm pretty sure yes. Well,
You're
I don't
better than
know.
me. I made it for myself.
Maybe my dad did make it for me, but I recall having the coaching staff having to have, like, passes to be on the
Sure.
sideline, and so I got one because, again, I was doing this all myself and my dad was helping coach and all the coaches knew me. Um, so I think that is a legitimate pass
Okay.
that was made for me. Yeah, I just pulled up
I
the
made
pic.
my own one.
Okay,
I
fun.
made my own. So, which actually, I'm very curious about this. You have obviously covered so much. What do you do with your press passes?
I am not super sentimental about my press passes in a way that I know most
If you
journalists
throw
are.
them out, that's a cardinal sin.
I keep I keep first time events
Sure.
or ones that are
I mean,
ones
look,
that are
no
like
judgment.
physical, ones that are like the plasticky ones, but like I'm not
Yeah.
holding on to a bunch of paper ones from like being at Mizzou and covering like a terrible football season in 2019. Like
Yeah.
I was just like, what am I gonna do with all of these? I mean, I guess maybe someday when I have an office and room to frame and have better things in the background of like doing things like this, maybe I'll think differently. But I have like my first one from Vikings last year, I think. I have my combine one. So
Yeah.
like key moments I've kept
Totally.
them. But yeah, I am not as sentimental about them as other people.
Oh yeah, I did that's my little like collage over
Oh, nice.
there,
Yeah.
and there's like 10 years worth of press passes in there somehow. Yeah, I always like seeing like the elaborate designs that people get into.
Yeah, people get creative with it, and
I
I'm like,
know.
kudos to them. I like pull them out of my bag after traveling, and they're crumpled up, or like
Yeah.
I forget that they're in there until ages later. Like, so I don't hold on to very many.
Where's the weirdest place you found one?
A press pass.
Yeah, like, if you like you kind of just said like you're like digging around and you'll find one.
I feel
Um
like I've probably pulled one out of the dryer before,
I was gonna say, like,
like
have you
having
ever
gone
seen one
through
in
the
the
wash.
laundry?
Yeah, I think I've definitely sent one like a paper one through the wash, and then I'll be like cleaning out the lint trap, and I'll be like, well, there's that press pass. But again, like the paper ones usually don't mean
They're
anything. It's the plasticky ones that
well,
are
they're
like,
also so
here's your
flimsy.
season credential. Yeah,
Yes. No, I get what you mean. But like the paper ones are also so flimsy.
right.
Like they're
What am I
whether
gonna
you
do
put
with
it in
it?
the wash or not, like they are going to like rip.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one for Princeton and it's obviously not in there cuz it's for this season, but like
Mhm.
and I'm not saying that like I update that. I just made that like 6 months ago.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, like this Princeton one's not going in there. But yeah, like it already broke. And I'm like,
Sometimes
damn
it's
it.
just like you got to say goodbye to them.
I know, I know. I also saw that, during your first year, you I forget the name of your colleagues, forgive me, but they were cheering about not having to cover a preseason game and you were having to do that. You called it
Yeah.
your rookie duties.
Hmm.
What are some rookie duties that you've had to experience and what are what are so preseason football obviously is one. What are the others if there are any?
Yeah, so it was only specifically the road game, which the Vikings had played their first two preseason games at home this year and then went on the road to Tennessee. And we only send one person to that because it's a preseason game and
Yeah.
not very many people were playing in it. And so yeah, Ben and Andrew were like, these are your rookie duties. You have to go do this. And they also that was kind of like a joke in front of
Of
the camera.
course.
Behind the camera, they're like, this is actually gonna be good. It was like I basically got a one-on-one with Kevin O'Connell or as close to it as I could have,
Yeah.
because I was the only one there in our main media corps, and then it was like a Vikings team writer, and then I think someone from the Titans had come in to listen in. So like I got to build up a little bit of the street cred of, hey, I'm here, no one else is. Like,
Yeah.
let's do that. So yeah, that was good. That was the main rookie duty. I'm trying to think if there's any else.
Do you have to
Really,
get
it's not really like duties. I just I take a lot of teasing about being 25 and like the
sure.
youngest on the beat and, "Oh, do you remember this, Emily?" And like, like, "Were you even alive when this happened?" Like, there's a lot of that that's in good fun. But I think
For sure.
in terms of duties. There's
Yeah,
not, like,
nobody's
very
hazing
much I
you.
would, like yeah, I would classify as, like, explicitly, like, rookie duties versus just, like, the duties I've landed with in my role.
What ethical and moral
Mm.
rookie duties would you impose on somebody else?
Oh my god.
Let's say you're in the position of, you know, your colleagues. What are you doing?
Well, I will say
If you had the pull, you had the street cred,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's your what is your ethical and moral rookie duty? I have a few in my head, but I want to hear yours
Okay.
first.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, kind of joking about today, so we get Monday locker room access,
Okay.
um, but it's pretty much optional for the players because they also have, like, meetings and lunch, and obviously they played yesterday, so, like, they don't have to be in the locker room or the nature of their schedule does not, like, force them into the locker room the same way it does the rest of the week, when they're,
Okay.
like, coming straight in after practice and stuff and have to change, have to go shower, whatever. So Mondays are usually very quiet. So I think that would be one is making making the rookie wait it out, which is what I do. I mean, I guess that's a little bit of a rookie duty, though my colleagues are also usually there, is waiting out Monday locker room on the off chance anyone comes in. I think
How
that's
long is that?
45
It's
minutes,
a
and
45-minute window.
I don't think anyone came in that actually agreed to talk until the final 7 minutes we were in today,
Okay.
and bless them, they did talk to us, that was great, but so yeah, waiting out Monday availability is maybe one, I think, like, talking to, like, 3rd or like, in the preseason and, like, training camp, like, talking to 3rd and 4th string guys that, like, aren't going to make the roster but
They're
are
so much
interesting,
nicer than
like
me.
yeah, I don't know, this is a hard one because I think I am still too much in the position of being, like, the person who would have to
I would make
do
somebody get
this
me
to even
media
think.
food.
What ideas do you have?
I would make somebody get me media food in the press box.
No, I can't.
I'd be like, get me a, I'm like, yo, get me a quick water.
No, I don't think I could do it.
Um, maybe that's just be, maybe that's just me being cynical. Or like, I don't think I would actually do that, but like, that's the first thing that came into my head.
Fun to imagine, yeah.
Yeah. Or I'd be like, yo, or no, I can't make you like go to will call and get the credentials for everybody because like you have to like show ID. So
That
that one's
well,
out.
funny story, that kind of happened to Shelby Swanson when she was interning for us this summer, who
Oh,
Shelby's
she's
been
gonna
oh,
get. Oh, I'm gonna talk to her all about that after we're done.
yeah,
Oh,
'cause she
tell
was
me
here
more.
one of her, like, last weeks was while we were in training camp, and I think it was, like, right before the season started, so yeah, end of August, and PR was handing out everyone's season credentials, and the rest of us knew enough to only take ours. And somehow Shelby agreed to take the package with everyone else's season credential in it, despite the fact that she had like no intention of going to the newsroom. And also, more problematic, the fact that like no one else goes to the newsroom, especially that close to the season. Like you're pretty much only going out to the practice facility, going to the stadium. Like no one's stopping in the newsroom. So then she ended up
Sure.
with this big bag of season credentials for like I think the photographers were in there, the columnists were in there, and I don't even remember what she ended up doing to, like, make sure everyone got them, but as far as I know, everyone did receive their credential, so that's
That's
good.
hysterical.
Yeah.
So she just ended up with all of them, probably well intended, of course, just knowing her, but like, and then she just was just
Yeah, she
dishing them
just didn't
out.
think it through all the way of, like, how many were gonna be in there, and then she, like, tried to hand it off to me, and I was like, "No, Shelby, I listened to Ben, who told us not to take the whole package, like, you're not giving this to me, like, this is on you." So that
So
was a little bit of rookie/intern duties for Shelby.
so you're just like taking your own.
Yeah,
You're only supposed to like take your own. I feel like yeah, I
yes,
feel like that's natural. Oh my god, that's
right.
so funny.
It's
That's
pretty good.
great. I asked this to somebody else. What has been your favorite press box that you've seen in your, career, both college, high school, or college, high school, pros, just overall vibes, even like just based off vibes.
US Bank is a pretty good home press box,
Yeah.
like, it's pretty high up there, um it's obviously a new stadium, but the press box is still closer to the 50-yard line. I feel like a lot of the newer stadiums, they end up putting the press box in like the corner of the stadium or like an end zone, and it has like a terrible sight line. We have a good
Oh
sight
yeah.
line at US Bank Stadium. They feed us very well. We always have pretty good meals, and it's spacious, which is again a product of it being a newer stadium.
Sure.
I visited Soldier Field for the first time earlier this year, and obviously great historic stadium. The
Yeah.
press box was so cramped. Like we were all like arm to arm sitting in the press box
Really?
to work pretty much. And like
Oh
there's
my
not a lot of room
gosh.
behind you. So like every time someone comes through and has to get to their seat, like everyone's like leaning forward, moving in and out, all of that stuff. So US Bank Stadium's pretty high up there. I would say again, another new build stadium, SoFi, I got to go to a couple weeks back. Um, Theirs was like pretty similar in terms of setup. I'm trying to think if they had open air or not in there. I think they didn't, which we were surprised by.
Hmm.
But they had a great snack situation. I mean, that's the key, I think, to a lot of this, especially when you're working like
Game day snacks?
10 hours, is like having a good variety of like, okay, I don't maybe need like multiple helpings of the meal. I mean, I definitely don't. But like, if I'm getting to the stadium at 3 p.m. and not gonna leave until midnight, like, I'd love some M&Ms to snack on or
Yeah.
something to take back to the hotel when I have to write for another 3 hours, and SoFi had that pretty well covered.
What are some of your game day snacks or travel snacks that you're going for?
Hmm, I think game days, like, there's less, like, a consistent snack pattern, and the drink is more consistent, where, like,
Ooh, okay.
we've had a lot of, like, noon kickoffs at US Bank Stadium this year, so it's like
Sure.
it's a coffee as soon as I arrive, so just like a black drip coffee with 1 or 2 creams in it, and then they're a Pepsi stadium, which is a downside, but they at least have cherry Pepsi in
It's
the
not bad.
machine, so, like, they have the nice, like, bigger sized cups, like, they're not giving you little tiny airplane
Yeah.
sized cups, so it's like a cup of I do the coffee pregame. Usually, I'm good through the first half. I'll drink a lot of water on game days too, because that's important,
Yep.
and then second half like, halftime hits, and I'm like, "Okay, it's cherry Pepsi time," and then that caffeine will carry me through the rest
That
of game
cat
day.
that gets you through a second half.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah. What is like your most tiring point in the season?
Right
What
now.
right now?
Week week 10 I think, like, week 9, like, mid-season exhaustion slowly started to creep in, especially because the Vikings had their bye in week 6.
That's pretty
Um,
early.
yeah, because they had the back-to-back international games, so it was, like, fitting for them, like, everyone needed a break then. But
For sure.
now we're at week 11, and there's not another break in sight until the
Right.
season ends, and so, yeah, I would say right now is a little tiring. You don't have, like, the adrenaline of the start of the season to carry you at all, or
Yeah.
and the end of the season doesn't quite feel close enough where I'm like, "Okay, the break's coming soon." It's
It's like
no,
a few more weeks it
there's
is.
still 7 more games left this season.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Right now the Vikings are in last place, but like who knows?
Yeah, right. I said yesterday on our
We
post-game podcast, I was like, the NFC North is really trying to be one of the most confounding divisions in football. Like, they really
we've
love to
seen
be all
teams
over the place.
under 500 make the playoffs before.
Yeah. It would take a lot for the Vikings at this point, but
Stranger things
yes.
have happened.
Yeah.
I do understand. So in this mid-season grind, in all of this, you know, just you personally, like what's keeping you grounded like outside of work? You know, computer shuts down. What's the first thing Emily Leiker's doing?
I am going to a movie usually 2 nights a week, at least as
Really?
consistently. I am a big movie goer, AMC A-list member, so
Wow.
I pay my money each month, and then I can go to as many movies as I want,
That's so cool.
and I think, like, the nice thing about a movie for me is that it's one of the I respect the sanctity of a movie theater, so I will not be on my phone. Like, the second I sit down in there for trailers, like, phone's going away.
That's a fun
Uh,
phrase you just said. The sanctity of a movie theater. I
yeah,
love that.
yes. The movie theater is one of the most sacred places to me. So phone is away, and, like, there's, like, a very rare occasion where, like, if I know something might be happening, maybe I leave my watch on so I can, like, look at it
Okay.
intermittently.
Oh, so you're shutting the watch off too.
I usually put the watch on Do Not Disturb too, like,
Okay.
I wanna be fully invested in
No,
the
for
movie.
sure.
So that's, like, the nice thing, because, like, even if I'm, like, watching TV at home or, like, watching a movie at home or whatever, it's still like I'm looking at my phone a lot just by nature of the
Of
job, by
course.
nature of just life in 2025, and so it's like when I go
Yeah.
to movies, it's like the closest I think I get besides sleeping to, like, really shutting my brain down, and, like, I'm only focusing on one thing at this moment.
Yeah. So what are your taste in movies?
It I'll watch anything, like, I'm,
Sure.
like, big into, like, going to see every new release or as close to as many new releases as I can, even if I'm, like, maybe not sure of it. Um, I think, films I end up enjoying most, I watch a lot of rom-coms. I love a lot of rom-coms. I
Okay.
think coming of age movies, and I mean coming of age beyond just, like, childhood. Like, I think
Sure.
a good, like, coming of age that's, like, post-college and, like, the age I am right now, like, that's, like,
There's not
very
many of
good.
them though.
There's not many, but when you
There
can
need
find
to
them, 'em, they're
be.
usually good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those 2, and then I'd say I hadn't really thought of it this way before, but I do think I like a good drama as well. Like,
Okay.
some of the movies I've liked most this year that have been closer to the top of the list or I've anticipated most, I'm realizing there have been a few dramas in there, but
Sure.
I'll really watch anything. I mean, Sinners is my top movie of the year, and
I was gonna
that's a
say,
thriller
you have
about
like a top
vampires,
three.
so yeah.
I was gonna say you have like a top 3 to 5, movies this
Let's
year.
Yeah, Sinners is number 1 on there.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling up my Letterboxd, let's see.
You're
Don't know it
what?
off the top. Oh, my Letterboxd? Do you know
What is that?
Letterboxd?
No.
Oh, you'll have to
Enlighten
look
me.
at Letterboxd. It's a movie reviewing app. I'm
Okay.
shocked. This is a good reminder that the movie culture is not all encompassing. Um,
Yeah. I mean, look,
Sinners
I've only seen a movie by myself once in my life.
Oh, wow. I go to the movies by myself all the
I
I honestly I've gotten to the point where I go to movies by myself so often now that I have to, like like, I have to remind myself that, like, it's okay, like, when you're going with friends for there to be, like, a little chit chat and, like, leading over to each other because sometimes I'll, like, feel myself getting annoyed that my friends are, like, reacting during the movie, and I'm like, "No, it's
Yeah.
okay." I'm like, "You're just used to going to movies
Sure.
alone." Um,
So Sinners is
Here's
number
number
1.
1, a movie called Sorry Baby, which is a bit of a coming of age of, like, an older generation or an older
Okay.
age. I just watched that the other night at home, actually. It was wonderful. And then K-pop Demon Hunters, I don't know if you've heard of that, is my number 3. It was a
I've heard
Netflix
of it a little bit.
Smash animated hit this year that was
I've heard of it a
quite
little
fun.
bit. That's so fun.
Yeah.
So, you were talking about your friends and going to the movies. How do you feel about movie dates?
I have actually never been on a movie date.
I feel like you would be against it being that you go so much.
Right. I think just especially
But
in
correct me
terms
if
of,
I'm
like
wrong.
I think in terms of if you're talking about, like, you're in a committed relationship, I see no problem with like, I think
For
that's
sure.
natural, that's fine. I think if you're suggesting a movie date as a first date, what are
No.
you trying to achieve? Because you can't talk to the other person in that
That's
movie,
a
and so it's
horrible
like
idea.
even if you're accompanying it with, like, drinks before, dinner after, something like
No.
that, it's like, okay, you just committed to spending 2 hours, like, at least, maybe 3 hours given how long some movies are now. So, I would say, like, it's a good date night, like, if you've been seeing each other for a while.
Right.
I don't think, like, first few dates, it makes a lot of sense.
No. I've
Yeah,
never felt that way. If
yeah.
somebody were to take you on a movie date, offer it up first or second date, how are you reacting?
I mean,
Given that you go so much.
I think I would try and suggest something else.
It's fair.
It it really depends too, because, like, if there's someone who's as into movies as I am, it would probably be okay,
I mean,
but
yeah,
if
maybe
there's
that's a
someone
different story.
yeah, if they're, like, just, like, a casual theater goer, again, like, I get a no like, people should not be on their phones during movies. You get people who now, like, come into movie theaters and have, like, blankets with them and are, like, hanging out, and I'm like, again, like, this is this is we are yes, it's, like, a sacred space, it's, like, the and I get, like, wanting to feel invested and comfortable while you're watching the movie, but we are also in public. Like, I just need everyone to chill out a little bit.
Yeah, that's very valid.
That's my movie day. I don't know that I have many more thoughts beyond that, but
No,
yeah.
it makes sense. I also know something else that you've done outside of, going to the movies is, having your own podcast, which, by the
Yeah.
way, I love the name, play on your
Thank you.
last name. But I need to ask your thoughts on Life of a Showgirl?
Oh my god.
I listened to that episode a little bit.
Uh-huh, with Ella Brockway, my one of my
Yeah.
good friends who I did meet through Twitter, which is like
Yeah,
it's like the good old days of meeting people on
of
Twitter.
course. I mean, look, that's how you and I got first connected as well.
Yeah. Um, I I'll put it this way. I don't think I've listened to more than 3 songs off that album
Same.
since my first 2, 3 listens to it in, like, the initial week after it came out. Like, it just didn't sit with me. I think there's been a lot of better music this year, and I'd really like to see her sit with the production of an album for a few years and, like, really work to put something out
That makes sense.
rather than this, like, cycle where it feels like I don't need a Taylor Swift album every year. I think I'd prefer not to have one, actually, and that's not because I don't like her, but it's because I do like her, and I think she puts out a better quality product when it's clear she's spent some time on it and has a longer period of experiences to draw from than the
Sure.
past 16 months or whatever.
Makes sense. Yeah. The only two songs I listen off it are Fate of Ophelia and Opalite.
Oh, interesting.
Also, like, probably like the most played songs off the album. They're all over social media and everything like
Yeah.
that. Personally, my favorite album is Speak Now. I just like most of the songs from that album. I'm not talking about quality. I'm talking about, like, quantity of songs that I like. I feel
Mhm.
like that's a natural way to pick your favorite album, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So, Emily, the last question I do ask everybody, maybe you know because you listen to some episodes, just professionalism aside, like, just you as a person, the Vikings aside, what's something you like most or admire about yourself?
I I think I'm a very good listener/observer because, like, I like to
Okay.
tie observation into listening as well. Like,
I do too.
I think sometimes there's, like, a pressure, especially as a young reporter, to, like, feel like you need to talk to a bunch of people and, like, you as soon as you're done talking to one person, you need to go immediately to another and, like, get everything on the record and stuff like that, and obviously there is value in that, and you do need to talk to people for the job, but, like, reporting is also, like, listening and observing, and I think, like, some
Yes.
of the, like, little anecdotes and things that I'm most proud of are things where I've just been listening in the locker room or, like, waiting to talk to someone, and instead of having my head buried in the phone, like, looking around and being like, "Oh, okay, that those 2 people are talking over there. I should go ask them later what that's about," or listening in on things because I think, again, like, increasingly as social media helps athletes tell their stories themselves and people just have more access into what's going on with
Sure.
teams and stuff, like, really honing in on moments that fans can't get in those avenues, which I think most of them happen in locker rooms, like, that's when you get to create, like, the magic of storytelling. Like, this happened just, yesterday a little bit.
Yeah.
I was going to talk to the Vikings running back Aaron Jones after their loss to the Bears last night, and
Hmm.
he's getting ready at his locker. I usually try and wait until they're dressed to some level. Obviously, some people don't, but I think it makes them more comfortable when they are dressed when you go to talk to them.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's
but
just
so I'm
like
waiting. Yeah, it's crazy.
basics.
Yeah, I agree. But and I get like sometimes there's guys you have to catch because they try to sneak out on you or like
Is it
whatever.
really that bad though?
But like I think that's a whole other topic we could get
Yeah.
into. But yeah, so I'm waiting for him, and everyone else is at the other side of the room, so I didn't feel the pressure to like hop in like too aggressively because everyone else was talking to defenders and stuff like that at the other end of the room.
Yeah.
And as I'm standing there, JJ McCarthy comes up, and JJ McCarthy had a tough game yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's not the first tough game he's had this season, but he comes up and all of the running backs are standing there. So it's Jones, CJ Ham, who's their like super veteran fullback, and then Jordan Mason, and JJ like daps up, handshakes each of them. It's like expressing gratitude. They had to do a lot of stuff yesterday. They were called on the most they have been all season, expressing gratitude. He goes to walk away, and Aaron Jones like calls out after him, and he's like, dude, I'm proud of you. Like, I want you to know I'm proud of you. And I didn't turn around because I didn't want to make it like overly obvious that I was like observing this, right?
For
Like
sure.
there's an art of subtlety to
I
that type of stuff.
agree.
So I didn't look over my shoulder, but by the way, like Aaron then said it again, and the way he said it, I could tell that JJ had probably tried to brush it off or like done something that made Aaron feel like JJ wasn't hearing him. And so
Hmm.
I hadn't originally intended on asking about their dynamic. I was going to write a very straightforward piece about the run game and just how they were asked to do more yesterday. And instead I stepped up and I was like, tell me about that moment. Like, how is your relationship with JJ grown? And Aaron got into like a really insightful answer about it. And the sidebar then, yes, was about the run game, but was also about like how like when you're trying to bring in a new quarterback, especially a new young quarterback, like running back is one of the few positions that has the ability to positively move the game forward without like the quarterback having to do much. The running backs are the only ones who like don't have to necessarily rely on anything more than a handoff. Like wide receivers only can help if the ball is thrown to them.
Yeah.
Like all of it, similar with like tight ends, like all of that stuff. So like it was like a story a little bit more about like these guys being able to take pressure off McCarthy and being able to help him out and take on that burden in whatever little way they can than just, hey, Aaron Jones ran 16 times. So like that just came because I waited. I was patient. I wasn't trying to cram Aaron Jones at his locker, and I was around when that moment happened and was able to use it in the story.
I love that. And I mean, going off that, I just think it's incumbent upon reporters to just take that into account, you know?
Yeah.
Like just have the respect, have the dignity to realize that these are people too.
Hmm.
Like they're doing their job just like you are doing yours.
Like not coming in and again, like just being like super aggressive and crowding them as soon as they pop in, like letting them have the space to breathe for a moment, because then too, you're going to get a better answer than if you like shove into someone's face and are like, tell me about like why did you rush the ball? Like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm doing a bad job of making a fake question up.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But yeah, like I think just like you said, it's about remembering that these people are all people, and like the more you treat them like people, the more they're going to treat you like a person, and everyone's going to do better. Like everyone's going to have a better time, and you're going to be able to
Right.
do your job better. And again, I don't think that has to preclude you from asking difficult, tough questions. And of course, sometimes there is a role in reporting or a time in reporting when you do have to not have that air of grace around you for the people you're
Sure.
covering. Sometimes they do not deserve that with the way they're treating you or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's the other part of it.
But
Yeah.
I think until it gets to that point, it's important to try and practice that.
Totally. Emily, thanks so much for coming on again, and it was really awesome getting to hear your story.
Thanks for having me.